Did you know that New York was not always known as New York? That's right, the city that never sleeps has a more complex past than you might imagine. Back in the early 17th century, around 1624, the Dutch established a settlement here and named it New Amsterdam. The Dutch influence is still visible today in some of the city's neighborhood names, like Brooklyn, which comes from the Dutch town Breukelen. But a mere 40 years later, the English sailed in and said, "We'll take it from here." And just like that, in 1664, New Amsterdam became an English colony. The Duke of York was granted the territory, and in his honor, the city was renamed New York. So the bustling metropolis we know and love today as the Big Apple, with its towering skyscrapers and bustling streets, was born not out of a simple founding, but a complex series of events. Ever wondered why it's called Wall Street? Well, the answer takes us on a journey back to the 17th century. Back then, the Dutch, who were the earliest settlers of Manhattan, had a bit of a pirate problem. Not just pirates, but they also had concerns about potential attacks from the Native Americans. So what's a Dutch colonist to do? They decided to build a wall. This was no ordinary wall, mind you. It was a 12-foot tall barricade that stretched from river to river across the width of Manhattan. This formidable structure served as a physical barrier to protect their settlement. The path that ran along this wall eventually became a bustling thoroughfare for commerce. As the decades rolled on, the wall was eventually dismantled, but the name stuck, and that's how the heart of our financial district got its name. So Wall Street was once a literal wall on a street. The Statue of Liberty, a symbol of freedom. But do you know her journey? The story begins in France, where the idea for the statue was born. It was envisioned as a grand gift to the United States, a celebration of 100 years of American independence. Crafted by the talented hands of French sculptor Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi, the statue was a marvel, standing over 150 feet tall. But the true challenge lay ahead. How to transport this colossal monument across the Atlantic Ocean? The solution was ingenious. The statue was disassembled into over 300 pieces, packed into 214 crates, and loaded onto a ship bound for America. After a month-long voyage, these pieces of Lady Liberty arrived in New York in June of 1885. Reassembly took several months, but finally in October of 1886, the Statue of Liberty stood tall and proud in New York Harbor. So Lady Liberty had quite a journey before standing tall in New York Harbor. Washington, D.C. is the capital now, but did you know New York City held that distinction first? That's right, for a dozen years from 1785 until 1797, New York City served as the capital of the United States. This was a period of significant change and growth for the young nation, and New York City was at the heart of it all. Our founding fathers walked these streets, debated in these buildings, and shaped the country's future right here. Imagine Alexander Hamilton, Thomas Jefferson, and George Washington bustling about the city, laying down the framework for the nation we know today. This era was a time of immense political activity, with the ratification of the Constitution and the inauguration of George Washington as the first President of the United States. New York City was truly the nerve center of the budding United States. So before D.C., New York City was the heart of American politics. A New York skyline is iconic, but it's a result of a fierce competition. A match not of speed or strength, but one of ambition and aspiration. A contest to see who could reach the greatest heights. This was the Skyscraper Race of New York, a rivalry that transformed the city's silhouette forever. In the late 19th century, New York was a city on the rise in more ways than one. Architects and builders were engaged in a friendly yet fierce competition to construct the city's tallest buildings. The birth of the skyscraper was not just a product of technological advancements, but a symbol of human ambition, of the desire to reach for the sky. The race began with the completion of the New York World Building in 1890. Standing at a then staggering 350 feet, it was the city's first step into the clouds. But the race was far from over. The torch was soon passed to the Park Row Building, then to the Singer Building, and so on, each one outdoing the last in a relentless pursuit of height. It was a race characterized by innovation and daring designs, each new contender pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible. But it wasn't just about height. These towering structures were also a testament to the city's burgeoning economic might and the spirit of the New York people, their determination to constantly strive for more. The race reached its zenith with the completion of the One World Trade Center in 2014. Standing at a breathtaking 1,776 feet, it's a tribute not just to the city's past, but to its resilience and its unwavering belief in the future. So the skyscrapers are not just buildings, they're the symbols of a race to the top. They are the physical embodiment of the city's spirit, its relentless pursuit of progress and its ceaseless ambition. They are New York, a city that never stops reaching for the sky. Who doesn't love a good slice of pizza? But do you know where in America it was first sold? Let's take a bite into this tasty piece of history. The love story between America and pizza began in the bustling streets of New York City back in the early 20th century. It was the year 1905 when Gennaro Lombardi, a young man from Naples, Italy, opened up the first pizzeria in America. Lombardi's, as it was aptly named, was located in the heart of Little Italy on Spring Street. Imagine the aroma of fresh dough, ripe tomatoes, and melting cheese wafting through the busy streets, enticing the New Yorkers. This humble beginning marked the start of America's love affair with pizza. Over the years, pizza has evolved and adapted to the American palate, but its roots remain firmly planted in the Big Apple. So every time you enjoy a pizza, remember it all started in New York. New York's subway system is the largest in the world, but it didn't start that way. Imagine a time when New York City was void of its iconic underground labyrinth. It was the year 1904 when the first subway line was born, a humble 9-mile track that ran from City Hall to West 145th Street. It was an engineering marvel of its time, a beacon of progress in the city that never sleeps. From that single line, the subway system grew exponentially, shaped by the city's evolution. Today, it's a sprawling network of over 800 miles of track, serving millions of people daily. It's the lifeblood of New York City, a testament to the city's resilience and relentless drive towards progress. The subway system in all its complexity is more than just a means of transportation. It's a symbol of New York City's unyielding spirit and determination. So the bustling subway system has its roots in a single humble line. Central Park, a green oasis in the middle of the concrete jungle. But was it always planned to be there? Well, not exactly. The park's creation was a result of foresight and a lot of competition. Back in the mid-19th century, New York's population was exploding and there was a dire need for an open public space. A contest was held in 1858 to design the park, and the winners were the young and relatively unknown Frederick Law Olmsted and Calvert Vaux. Their greensward plan beat out 32 other entries. It was a design that included winding paths, a lake, and even a castle. They envisioned a place where the city's inhabitants could escape the hustle and bustle, a place for leisure and recreation. The location in the middle of Manhattan was chosen for its accessibility. And so, Central Park came to be, transforming the city's landscape forever. So Central Park is not just a park. It's a carefully planned green heart of the city. So, what do all these facts tell us about New York? Well, they weave a tapestry of stories that have shaped the city we know and love today. From its humble beginnings as the Big Apple, New York's journey has been nothing short of extraordinary. The Wall Street Wall, a symbol of resilience, echoes the city's economic prowess. The Statue of Liberty's transatlantic voyage speaks to New York's welcoming spirit, a beacon of hope and freedom. The city's stint as the nation's capital showcases its political significance. The Skyscraper Race, still ongoing, embodies the city's relentless pursuit of innovation and grandeur. New York's culinary contributions, like the introduction of pizza to America, reflect its cultural diversity. The intricate subway system and the masterfully designed Central Park further testify to the city's architectural ingenuity and love for public spaces. All these elements come together to paint a rich, vibrant picture of New York's history, a city with a past as vibrant as its future.